Hello, thank you for joining. Thank you. My name is Katherine Jackson, and I'm the VP of Business Services, and welcome to EMBA Fundamentals, Expanding Minority Business Access. Thank you for joining us at this EMBA workshop. We are going to spend the next 60 minutes or so sharing how your business could grow through government and corporate contracting. Please refer to your handout as we're going to make notes throughout this workshop. Thank you to our sponsors. Before we get started, we want to thank the organizations that help make EMBA possible. The EMBA program is funded by a grant from the Fund for Equitable Business Growth with support from Allstate, Comcast, and AT&T. Again, my name is Katherine Jackson. I'm the VP of Business Services at Far South CDC. We are located at 853 West 115th Street, Chicago, Illinois. It's located 115th in Halsted, and we have a couple of things that we do. Far South CDC does a lot of things, but we are a neighborhood business development center through the City of Chicago, Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. What that means is that we help businesses grow within the City of Chicago. You have to be in the City of Chicago for that program, which we help with the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund. We have an SSA as well, which stands for Special Service Area 45. And we help with the manage the corridors and everything through the City of Chicago, along with get business licensing and other things from the City of Chicago. We are also an Illinois Procurement Technical Assistance Center, Illinois PTEC, and that's headed up by Franshawn Greenfield, who is our director of our Illinois PTEC Center. And what that means is that if you're looking to get minority, women-owned certifications, anything that has to do with government contracting and corporate contracting, Franshawn will be able to assist you with everything that has to do with procurement. Patricia Ballet, who is our executive admin, she will be the one that you will see a lot on a lot of the emails, especially if you're trying to get an appointment to schedule either between me or Franshawn. You can contact us. Our number is right here, 773-831-7107. And again, we are able to assist you with an appointment, but you do have to schedule an appointment. All right, so let's get into it. So government procurement, selling to local and state federal government agencies. What can your business sell to one of these entities? If you are just starting out, think about what your company could possibly sell after you have been established. Write what you think and what you can sell on each page. It's page 2 on the handout. So look at page 2 on the handout. Think about what you can sell to government or corporate. If you are an established business who does not currently have corporate or government contract, there are several reasons why you have not explored it. Maybe you think your company is too small for government contracting, or you do not have enough time to invest in learning about the process, or you don't have enough money or resources, etc. We are hoping that because you are here at this webinar in this room right now, that this is a sign that contracting might be just what your business needs. So we're here today to talk about expanding minority access to business opportunities. Our goal is to expand minority business owners' access to business opportunities at all levels: local, state, and federal government contracts, utilities, corporations that are headquartered here, retail stores in your neighborhood. Depending on what stage your business is and how much experience you have, you may be ready to pursue a very large contract. Large depends on your business. A $50,000 contract could be the biggest one you have ever had. Some of you might be ready to complete a $1 million contract. Our objective is to get you on the path to figure out what your next step might be. There are millions of minority-owned businesses in the United States. Let private and public sectors know about your company. Think about who you know who has a business already and who might have a contract within the city of Chicago or works with a military. At some point, those business owners heard about contracting from somewhere and decided to learn more. In the next 60 minutes, we're going to lay out two paths to explore: corporate contracting, government procurement. Maybe you're willing to travel to both. We're going to talk about the opportunities that are available, help you describe your offer, meaning how you could add value to a project. We will discuss supplier inclusion and certification. You may have heard a little bit about that, and we may want to make it simple terms and what that means for your business. We might highlight what the bidding process is like, and most importantly, we would tell you about resources where you can get basically the P-Tech, where you can get at a no cost, free of service that will help you make this happen. Preparing for those two paths are like basically this. So you get packed, okay, preparing, take steps, get your company road ready, get out on the road, choose your destination, map out your journey, and go the distance. So these are kind of like steps to prepare yourself in getting into that road. Think about how much government agencies and corporations spend annually, trillions and trillions of dollars. The federal government spends alone is more than like 4.8 million. So they spend a lot of money in contracting, which you could be a part of this contract. And if you look right here, here's a link right here that you will be able to, I believe it's in the handout as well, that you'll be able to look to see what that might look like. So EMBA, corporate contracting. So look at this picture right here. What did this corporation buy? If you could look at this picture, they might have bought chairs. They might have did electric. They might have done, paintings or decorations. They might even have done the design for the building, which means like carpet, etc. It's a lot of things that basically a corporation might buy. And in this picture, you will see the objective to showcase what a corporation had to buy from vendors. So what do you think this, write down what you think this corporation had bought and put it in your handout. Reasons why corporations invest in supplier and inclusion. So smaller companies will have, it's so many things like good and services. Why do corporations invest in supplier inclusion? There are several reasons. Smaller companies are more agile with fewer approval levels, which may allow them to work faster. With competitive pricing, it provides them with more options to evaluate. When there are more people submitting bids, they can get more competitive pricing. If they stay within an existing vendor, they don't question rates, they could be paying more than what they need to pay. So competitive pricing is very valuable. Innovation, it encourages diverse perspectives and allows for more information. Reflections, customers want their supply chain and workforce to look like them. They invest in supplier inclusion. And because they invest in supplier inclusion, they want to hear from as many voices as possible. What does your company do exceptionally well? Think about the products and services you sell and look at the worksheet and reference that. What does your company do exceptionally well? If a company approaches a potential buyer and starts rattling off everything that their company is capable of doing, the prospect will probably lose interest really fast because it's too much information to take in and try to translate it. Make it easier for your buyer by focusing in on the main things that you offer. These are considered your core competencies. So write down, what do you do with what they want in mind? When potential buyer says, what do you do? They do not want a long list of items or a bunch of objectives. They want to know what specific products or services you offer. They want to know how you will add value to the project. You could say that you are unique, offer exceptional services, and are dependable, but does that not differentiate from you? But does that differentiate you from majority companies who offer the same thing? Does it? Explain your value. List the key things your company provides. These are examples and consider core competencies. To determine your value, list key things that your company provides on page 3 of your handout. Think about the examples. A printing company may offer promotional items, signage, event displays, offset printing, and they probably do a whole bunch of other things such as business cards or postcards, flyers, and etc. But they don't need to list all that they're here, basically what they're here for. And when they're first time meeting somebody, they don't need to give the rundown of everything that you do. Think about the core things, core competencies, basically that you provide for your business and what you are known for. So these are job titles for professions who serve as a liaison or monitor utilization of diverse suppliers at their company. Part of their job is to connect with diverse vendors for their supply chain. Supplier diversity, diversity inclusion, business outreach, these are all job titles who serve as liaisons. Part of their job is to go out to events and to partner with organizations to find diverse owned companies who are interested in bidding on contracts with their company. They often look for certified companies. People in general tend to hire who they know. So if you have a buyer who has $1 million contract and they need to hire subcontractors, they are going to look at the network of people they know. Part of the reason certification came about is to introduce buyers to companies who are talented and qualified to do the work, but who may be outside of their networks. Business owners who own 51% of their company and meet certain criteria can apply to become certified. Certification is usually completed by a third party. So we can help because we are at Illinois P-TECH in certification. Corporations typically want companies that are certified as business enterprise or as minority or MBE, as they call it, women owned, veteran owned, LGBT, and the list just goes on. We are talking about corporate contracting now. So we're on that path. Corporations typically want companies that are certified. So these are some of the certifications that you could get, and we will be able to help you as an Illinois P-TECH Center. They are looking to check to see if you are who you say you are, pretty much. The process is to get certified and the process, it varies from each certification. Some of the things that they may ask you for is financial information, business details, proof of ownership, and control. Certifiers have to prove that they are the person who is making the daily decisions that fits that certification category. So here's two local organizations that certified, two local organizations, Women's Business Development Center, who certifies the WBE certification, Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council, which does the MBE certification. They both have additional programs to help your business grow, along with a variety of organizations such as ours that will help you get you on that right path to your government or your corporate contracting. So the WBDC and Chicago MSDC charge a fee to process the certification applications, but not all certifications charge. The applications for both of those applications vary between $250 to $500. Scholarships, there may be scholarships out there that help the cost and decrease the cost for your expense for these certifications. Certification is a marketing tool to appeal to companies who are specifically looking for certified vendors. Some may want to reach out to a certain goal that they have working with diverse companies. One thing that certification is not is you owe me. No one receives a contract just because they are certified. Buyers need qualified solutions. They need someone who they can do the job. You can meet potential business owners and potential buyers at the master trade shows and local businesses matchmaking events. There are several networking events throughout the year that you might find either by looking up different events, but picture a convention center with hundreds of exhibitor booths. Each booth, it has a different company that could be small or it could make $1 billion brand like Facebook or Honda. You just never know who you're going to meet at these trade events. So this is Ruby McCleary, Director of Business Diversity and Sustainability. And she says, my favorite quote, if I can help someone as I travel along, then my living would not be in vain. So Ruby McCleary is an actual corporate supplier inclusion professional. And what she does is she shares how important supplier and diversity is to her as Director of Business Diversity and Sustainability at Allstate. And particularly, they want to make sure they help close the equity gap in the community by exploring opportunities in their supply chain and by requiring their prime or larger contractors to extend opportunities as well. What would you say someone like Ruby likes about your business? Think about it. Think about it and write it down in your worksheet. What do you think Ruby might look in your business? What makes your company different from other vendors? You might be pitching someone who is very happy with their current vendor. What differentiates you? What makes you different, basically, from other vendors? And think about it. Examples of differentiator. I can never say that word right, but what makes you different? Please write down what differentiates you on page 6 of your handout. These are examples of what you could put depending on your company. You want to identify your ideal client. Maybe it's a company that you have heard about, or is basically you want to propose a solution that they might not have they might have thought about. Or maybe you're responding to a request for a proposal known as an RFP. The buyer knows what they want and what are asking vendors to submit proposals. It is important to understand the buyer's perspective so you can tailor your answers to what they're looking for. So understand some common terms: the capability statement, statement of qualifications, request for information, pre-bid meetings, request for a proposal, request for a quote. These are all common terms that you might see when looking for opportunities. So tell me more about what you do. A prospect requests a summary of qualifications. Respond with a capability statement, a common term to describe a summary of your company. Statement of qualifications. These are all things that supplier diversity and corporate vendors look for. A prospect may ask you for a request for information or to attend a pre-bid meeting. Pre-bid meetings are more common throughout government contracting though. So you might see something also as a NOFO, a notice of funding opportunity. Once a project is formalized and companies are ready to hear from you, they may ask for a request for quote or request for proposal. These are all common terms that you might see as well. You formalize your answers in response to a request for proposal or a response to a quote. So these are all things that you might see when you are trying to get the contract. So now we're going to go into a little bit more of government contracting. So let's look at 6 key steps for pursuing government contracting. So we just went over corporate contracting. Now government contracting is a tad bit different. So for this workshop, we're going to break down government contracting procurement into 6 steps. Identify, research, ask, obtain, prepare, and propose. Identify. So you want to identify who you want to work with because there are so many opportunities out there. Think about the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, or even the federal government. These are just a few of the agencies or departments that you could work with. Get notified, freedom of FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, review closed contracts. After you identify the opportunity, you want to research it. One of the things you can do is get notified for the examples. You can do more research by requesting information about previous contracts with the Freedom of Information Act. You can find things such as which vendor was awarded the contract. You can also look for contracts that are similar to what you want to do. You can look for closed contracts to gain insight. An important reason to conduct research is to find what agencies buy and what they sell, and in many cases, at least federal, to determine how much they spent in previous years in your industry and see who's won the contracts. So here is an example of what a Cook County bid list could look like. So you see you have the bid number, you have department, and then you can also download the list of different things that they will have in there. And then this will usually be when they're starting and when they're ending. So that could be the time when they're looking for people and when they're ending. And so now you want to ask, attend procurement and networking events, develop relationships, identify research, and now ask. It is important to ask for help so that you will get through this process. You can ask for no-cost one-on-one counseling services through WBDC, CMSDC, and also Far South CDC, which is an Illinois P-TECH that offers advice and information for free. So now, you want to identify. So we went through identify, research, ask, and now we want to obtain. Obtain public sector certifications based on the projects you want to pursue. These are listed in your handout. 8A is a federal certification that gives you mentoring and access to certain contracts. Learn more about this process through our P-TECH, and which you can schedule an appointment with. HubZone certification is based on where the company is located and where the workers are. So that's a little bit different. Each certification has their own requirements. So obtain certain industry codes. The North American Industry Classification System, or NEXT codes, is requested often. This is what you will see most often when you're looking for a bid. They want to see where your NEXT codes are, especially on your capability statements. Buyers will search a database and use the NEXT codes to narrow down their search results. You can see examples of the NEXT codes, what they look like, if you just go to the website. Another industry code is the National Institute of Government Purchasing, also known as the NIGP. You can also see examples of what that code look like as well. So depending on what branch of government you want to do business with, you will also need unique ID codes. So the unique UEI, unique identifier or case code, is another thing that you might see as well. So now we went through identify, research, ask, obtain, and now we're going to prepare. Understand the process and know the standard expectations. Assemble documents that may be needed for your certification application, as well as proposals. Obtain certifications that only bid if you meet requirements. Partners with others need to improve your chances of getting the contract. So you want to make sure you have all your documents, write a capability statements to communicate your value to a government and corporate buyers. The capability statement is very, very, very important. We mentioned the capability statement earlier. This document summarizes what your company does. Check out the various sections that could be included on the capability statement. We talked about the orange ones today. If you spend another hour or so, you can create this document. When it's ready, we can give you feedback. Also, because we're a P-TECH, we can also help you with the capability statement. So what are the next steps? It depends on your readiness and depends on the readiness of your business to take the road to the contract. Let's revisit our 3 journeys based on where your business is today. Remember, get packed up for the trip, get on the road, and then go the distance. So it depends on where you're ready. So if you think about just getting started, think about starting a business, consider who owns 51% or more and whether they are eligible for certain certification programs. Get your basics in place and make sure you have all of your documents ready to go. Start with smaller contracts to build your experience, estimating, performing, and building a team. So it all starts somewhere. Determine whether your corporate or government contracting is the best fit for your business. If you have an established business, actively explore corporate and government contracting and think of how much they might purchase and start small and consider certification, which is helpful. If you have experience with larger transactions, register for vendor databases, network with buyers, seek out requests for proposals, and submit bids. So that's going the distance. Where are you headed? Think about what your next steps are. And so we are here to help. The EMBA team is here to help you expand your business. Watch out for an email for additional programs to help you on the road to contracts, or if you need personalized help, meet with us at no cost advisory to get guidance. Whatever you need to do next, we are here to help. Again, my name is Catherine Jackson, and thank you for attending EMBA Fundamentals today. If you need to make an appointment, you can call us 773-831-7107, or you can email us at Patricia@Far South CDC, and she is our executive admin that will be able to get you an appointment. And again, my name is Catherine Jackson, and our P-TECH director is Franchon Greenfield, and you can email us as well. Thank you, everyone.